Hi, welcome! In this video I want to show you how to install and restore Innovator databases. I now use a new server for my videos. It's actually just an Amazon AWS EC2 machine, and I have installed Innovator like you can see in my install and troubleshooting videos, and I probably made a mistake during my installation process, because when I now try to log in, I get this database is not available error message. So I think I can solve this issue by simply reinstalling the database, which is of course here no problem because it's really the out of the box database, so I will not lose any data when I just restore the database. In my case, the database doesn't even contain any tables, so it's completely blank. He just added the name, but there is nothing inside. So when we want to install additional databases, well, then we of course need some database files or templates that we can use. When you have installed Aras Innovator the regular normal way, you will notice in your Innovator installation folder you have this subfolder DB, which contains our two database templates that we have. One, the core database without production engineering solution, and the other one, the standard core and solution database. Watch out my installation video when you want to have more information regarding this one. I will not cover them in this video. So I want, in my case, restore this standard core and solutions database, and I can it's quite a simple process. I go to task, restore database. Then I search for my database file, program files, probably here, DB folder, core and solutions back, okay. Then so here define, okay, this is my source, and it should be reinstalled or restored in this database. I don't have any other one. Then I go to option and say, okay, overwrite the existing database. And sometimes you have to pay attention that you have the correct files here. This is right MDF file, because sometimes you will complain when this one is wrong, but this all looks fine. Always pay attention that you really have the right destination to avoid that you overwrite something that might be important. Here, okay, let's do it. Database restored, and when we now refresh the whole thing, we should yes, now we have tables. Before it was empty. And so this is how you restore a database. When you want to add an additional database, you simply go to new database, give it a name, like in my case, Innovator 12 SP9 Core. This shall be my second database. You can change the settings. I'm fine with the default one here. Yeah, you can always change it later. And here now, of course, this is again empty, nothing inside. And then when you want to link the default database template, you also just do a simple restore database. Get it from my local file, which is here, Aras Innovator 12, and now it just takes the core. Option override, yes, that's fine. Okay, restore it. And we now have two situations. In the first sample, I just have overwritten the existing database, and the second one, I have added a complete new one. Of course, when you now go to your Innovator, and you can see here, just one of these two is linked to this database. When you now want to make the second one show up into this drop-down list, you have to go to your Innovator installation, installation code tree. So you have this Innovator server config, just edit it, and here you see this database connection string. You simply copy this line of code, like this. No, copy this line of code, add it here, and then just change the name of this You can specify the ID is the ID used in your Innovator, in your SQL Server Management Studio. So here it would be Innovator 12 Core, and of course can also assign a different name for this one. I hope I don't mix it up. Let's test it out. Core Innovator, for example. Save the stuff. Refresh the site, and now we have two, but I think I mixed up the names. I'll have to test it out. But let's first try to log in at all. Okay, database still not available, but this, of course, I'm not finished yet with what I've done. I have restored a database, but as I said before, during my installation process, there was already something wrong with the database, so I assume the security settings are not properly set for this Innovator database. When you take a look at security login, you will notice these two users, Innovator Regular and Innovator. Our Innovator uses these two users to connect to the database. But I assume right now when you take a look at the properties, or not at this one, let's take a look here. So you can find somewhere which databases use these users, and you can see right now the Innovator user does not use my Innovator 12 SP9 database, and it doesn't also not use my core database. So I have to link these two users to my databases. And when you take a look in the Aras forum or in Aras manuals, you will always find a couple of SQL commands that you have to use to register your databases, and these are simple as these two. You can type them by yourself or find them via Google. It's really easy to find for queries. So first one, let's run it on our 12 SP9. Execute, that's fine. Okay, I think the second one always fails, so because it's already somehow... I don't know exactly what these are doing, I just know that use them, be happy that they're working. When you're more familiar with SQL than me, then you will probably understand what happens here. But basically we add our users to our databases. And then we now should be able to log in. We are still not able to log in. Okay, welcome back. I had an additional little issue until I was able to actually start my Innovator. So this script, yes, registered my new users to the databases, but in my case, I right now have also switched inside this properties security connection. I also switched server authentication to allow SQL Server and Windows authentication mode. And then I restarted this database server. And then I was able to log in. So this was an additional step I had to make. And I have to say, this was actually the very first time where I ever had to make this setting. So I'm not sure if this is a right or correct solution. I just can right now say it was necessary for this specific installation in my Amazon EC2 setup. So, okay, this is, I think, all for the video today. I showed you how to register a new database or to reinstall an existing one. Yeah, and one mistake that I made in my server config file, I mixed up this ID and database properties that you can have here. So database is really how the database is called here in SQL Server Management Studio. And when you want to change the way that these databases appear in your login screen, you can simply change the ID. For example, here we say, let's call it just Innovator with Solutions and Innovator Core, just for testing. And when I now log out from my Innovator, I should get the new naming here, so you can change these as the way you like it. Okay, so, and he now gives me the error here that the preferred database is not found is simply because in my cookies still the old database value was set. So when you refresh the cookies or delete the cookies, then also this error message will be gone. So it's not a real issue. Just let's log in again. And you can see my machine is much faster than the last time. I'm already logged in, yeah. Close the browser. Final test. Log in. And here we are. So see you in the next video.